What's the differences between fixed and variable outputs? Okay, it's a good question. It comes to us from Robin in New Malden, Surrey. Is that where Malden sea salt comes from? Well, this is New Malden. Maybe that's old salt, I think. Anyway, I love Malden sea salt. Hi, Paul. I have a CD player with fixed output and a variable output. Can you explain the difference, please? The instruction manual is vague and unclear as to the meaning and use of this facility. I watch your show all the time and enjoy it very much. Okay, Robin. Well, I can't tell you specifically on your CD player because I don't know what it is. I'd be happy to if you want to write me separately, paul@psaudio.com. Happy to answer anybody's questions separately, and I do all the time. And I do my best to answer these, but like I said before, I'm up to about 5,000 questions, literally. And I do my best to answer the latest ones and just, I mean, some of them are a year or two old, and I apologize for that because there's some great questions in there. But I've made a commitment to do one a day. I don't have the bandwidth to do more than one a day. But I'm here for you every single day, and I've made that commitment, and I'm going to stick to that commitment because I enjoy doing this. As many of you know, I come down. Today is a Sunday. It's snowing like crazy outside. I could be in writing on my book, or I could be helping Terry with dishes and vacuuming. But frankly, I'd rather be down here doing this, spending time with you. So here I am. A fixed versus variable output. Typically, let's take a preamp as an example. Here's a good one. Preamps typically have fixed and variable output. So the purpose of a preamp in the first place is to be able to select an input and then be able to vary the voltage or the volume up and down with the volume knob or the remote control, right? That's its function, choosing an input and controlling the volume. That's what it does. But in many cases, we want a fixed output so that we select what input and then we route it through without involving the potentiometer, the electronic circuit, whatever it is that is controlling the volume. We want to bypass that for any number of reasons. For example, we may want to bypass that because, well, back in the old days, we called it a tape loop. It was tape out, right? Because we wanted to set our recording levels on our tape recorders, our cassette decks, or whatever we were recording with, way back when. God, this sounds ancient, doesn't it? It's like, what? Hey, Dad, what's a cassette deck? We wanted to set those levels independently, and then we could monitor it and turn the volume up and down and have it not affect anything. So in that case, we routed it through without the volume control. You got a fixed output, went to your cassette deck. Or you could use it to perhaps feed a home theater controller, a surround sound processor. So maybe you have a 2-channel setup that also doubles as a home theater setup. In those cases, you want to have a fixed output because you're going to, when you're watching movies, you're going to control the volume with the surround processor. And you don't want the preamp, you don't want to have to set it every time, right? So there's another good reason for a fixed output. On a CD player, on the ones that I'm familiar with, the very same thing sort of applies. If you are planning on taking the output, the analog output of your CD player and plugging it into your preamplifier, you want to use the fixed output because your preamplifier is going to be adjusting the volume. And so it's a cleaner path to go through the fixed output into your preamplifier. If you're using your CD player directly into a power amplifier, fairly unusual, but let's say you are, then you could use the variable output and use the CD player's volume control. Or if for some reason, and this is be pretty unusual, if the level coming out of the fixed output is too hot for your preamp, you could use the variable to tone it down a bit to match your preamp, but we're way out in the weeds on that one. So my best advice, use the fixed output. It'll probably sound the best. And my even better advice, Take the digital output and put it through a decent DAC, man. Don't take the analog output of a CD player. They all suck. They do. They really do. Get yourself a DAC and take the digital output, and then you won't have any of this stuff to deal with. Okay? All right. Talk to you later. Bye.